Oh, what do I do if someone wants to try on clothing? I meet them at Club Fit. I meet it somewhere where it has a bathroom. So I let them try them on. But I'm not going to let you try on my vintage sweater if you're 6 sizes too big for that sweater. So I have a funny short story. I bought a vintage sweater. It was a size 2. Now, I am not a size 2 in my dreams. No way would I fit into this. The woman wanted the sweater back. And I'm like, why do you want it back? I decided you didn't pay me enough. I decided I love this sweater. I had to drive to White Plains to give her the sweater. Then she started screaming at me. The sweater is ripped in the lining. I said, lady, there is no way in my wildest dreams I can fit into this sweater. Do you see how big I am? She thought I wore the sweater and ripped it. So from that point on, I never let anybody try on anything that I don't think they'll fit into. I just say, you know what, I really don't want to have a problem with the item. I have to sell it, so it's best I get you another item. Venmo. I can take Venmo. But you know what, it's easier to deal with the cash. I never accept a check, please. It will only bounce, I guarantee you. She asked about Yadro and Waterford. Yadro sells, Waterford sells, but for a lower price. People don't want that crystal. You have to sell, I hate to say this, at the lowest common denominator. Lalique sells for a lot, but they don't sell for a lot anymore. You know, so you have to be willing to get rid of it. Yes, try. Try. Okay, so I'm going to go back to eBay. So I'm going to do completed auction on eBay and see how many bags had that authentication card. Never throw out your authentication card, but all vintage bags don't have it. And here's another hint. If you're selling any Judith Lieber, which I buy and I love, Judith Lieber, 1994, she sold the company. So anything Judith Lieber is not Judith Lieber after 94. Key. No, there's no fee except for something over $500. And that, what? 400, sorry, Robin. What? $495. And Robin gets the fee for administrative, but if I sell something for someone, I get a fee as well, and it's negotiated. She has a desk that's rather large, and what should she do? Okay, so can you move it to your garage?
Yes, it is in the garage right
Okay,
now.
so you have a friend stay with you,
Okay.
and, you know, you show it there.
Okay.
She wants to get rid of a mink stole and a Persian lamb. Many of those Persian lambs are dry rotted. You have to check the condition. Yes, you can. And the mink stoles and Persian lambs don't go for a lot of money. You're going to call me later. She has a charm bracelet she wants. I have about 30 vintage charms. I have a traffic light, and I have a birthday cake that goes up with candles. And then the best charm I've ever seen is this woman. She had a ballerina that winds up. And the ballerina had a dance. And the charm was this big. It was incredible. Oh, no. Anybody in Westchester gets on. You just can't be a stripper in Austin, Texas. And that's what I got, people applying from all over the world. In our page, there's a line. And if you're on that line, you're a motivated buyer. And we know you only have 24 hours to make a decision. So it motivates them to make a decision on the item. So you have 5 people for this piece of jewelry you're putting up. And those 5 people want it. 24 hours, 24 hours, 24 hours. You want to just see it? Okay, you got to tell me tomorrow if you want it. I'm going to the next person. Well, there's an insured mover that I use who's wonderful. You should get someone insured so they don't ruin your walls, and you have to say to them, and if they can come out the back, but they have to pick it up within a reasonable amount of time. They pay you first, and then they got to move it out. You got to give them a time frame. But if you have the money, they're motivated. He said, have you ever had a bad experience with Craigslist? Listen, there's so many people out there wanting to buy stuff. If I see a picture of a person on Facebook, it kind of helps a little bit. But the other thing is, at the police station here, they have a meeting place where you can meet people outside here. And it's all on cameras. And many of those police stations do have places. But when you get onto our page, we ask you questions. So, and there's protection because we make sure someone doesn't not show up. If you don't show up and you just ghost the person or you skip the line, you're out of the page. That's it. Okay, so she asked, is there psychology on eBay using buy it now or auction? So I think it's better to auction it because people think they're going to get a deal. It's the psychology of the deal. Here's the thing, you price it low, you're going to sell quickly. So someone sold a ton of hats to Mrs. Maisel.
Yeah, we saw that.
Yes, did you see that article? So her mother had a lot of hats. So I'm going to tell you another story. My mother was a decorator and a collector, and you couldn't even walk in the garage. You couldn't walk in the attic. So it was stairs down the attic. She bought in pairs, in triplets, in quadruplets. There was 60 rolls of wrapping paper, 20 boxes of vintage silk ribbon. So I decided to sell the ribbon during Christmas. I didn't sell the whole spool. I wrapped it up and I sold maybe 3 yards and put it all together in a nice jar. I sold it for $25. So it's creatively creating things that you want to sell. Anything could be sold, and this is an example. This is incredible. This is a box of Joy dishwashing liquid. It's from the 50s, okay? So I bought this at Brimfield. But how much do you think this could sell for? Anybody have an idea? Yes, you're exactly on, $30. This is a pair of earrings. These are sterling silver. It says 925 on the back. That's the insignia for silver, 925. So this is a bad thing that I did. I told the person to clean them, but I should have said, don't clean them too much. For me, they're too shiny. And these were vintage earrings from New Mexico. So they were over cleaned. So I don't like over cleaning anything. And I advise everybody to get one of these. This is a loop. You can get it on eBay. It's a loop. And it's a magnifying glass. So you can see labels, really tiny stuff. And like 14 karat gold, sterling. And I just wear it around my neck and I just look at things. There is a guy in Westchester, there's always a guy, and he buys vinyl. Okay, so I don't know the exact name, I probably could get it for you, but here's the thing. They're not buying opera records, they're buying Rolling Stone records. They're buying high-end records. You know, they're not everything's selling for high-end price. At some point, you have to let go. And those records, you have to look up. Sir, if you give me a couple names of what you think is the highest end, I can tell you how much they're priced. If you have a record scratch, they can sell the album cover. That is true. What we've learned in summary, it's the power of letting go. And I'll just end with one last story. I had a client. They had an apartment, and it was filled with merchandise. I said, in 3 days, I can get rid of everything. Okay, we'll let you know. A month goes by. In 3 days, I can get rid of everything. A year goes by. There's $15,000 they've paid in rent. And then they called me up and say, okay, we want to hire you now. And I wasn't available right then and there. And I had to have a clean out person, and most of the stuff had to not be sold but cleaned out. But you don't want to wait to the last minute and be aggravated in getting rid of your stuff. I just think that's the key thing. Do it slowly and on your time. If you're planning on moving in 10 years, start now. Want to see more? Then reach out to me.